What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Tilt and the 1995 album Til It Kills. Once again, big shout out to Paulie. And as I think I mentioned in the first reaction, I'm very excited to go through this because it's a group I had heard of, but just vaguely, like through reputation, so it's nice to put a sound to a name after so many years. And the second track is Confines of Love. So I'm intrigued. It sounds like it could be about restrictions or feeling boxed in, or being unable to be free or at liberty to move or to behave within the feeling of love. Now that could be about your own internal feeling, and thus, like, once you feel love, maybe you will second guess doing certain things, or you won't be yourself as you were before. Or it could be about a relationship where the person you are in love with expects certain things, or you come to have a dynamic with them that is perhaps restrictive relative to what you were doing before. Of course, it could be neither of those things, but it's a poetic title and one that I don't quite know how to read the tone of, so we'll see what I can pick up on first listen. This is Tilt, the track is Confines of Love, and it's from their 1995 album Til It Kills. As I've been doing in deep dives from punk material Paulie has sent me, I'll look up the lyrics in a moment, but that recurrent line, like, I can't keep my fingers away from the sore, I think it is. At first I was like, keep away from the door, which, if you're near a door, you can be in danger, and I thought there's maybe a metaphor there. But I think the line was, I can't keep my hands away from the sore. And that makes me think about, like, if you have a wound, you don't want to get it infected, so you don't want to be touching it a lot, especially, like, there are germs that on things that you touch out in the world, so then if you touch an open wound, it can be problematic and it can make things worse, or, like, it at the very least, even if you're not getting it infected, you can prevent it from healing because you continually touch it. So I thought maybe there's figurative meaning there. And there was a line at the beginning, I forget what the adjective was, like, I'm a something woman, so, like, maybe this is about, societal expectations or, gendered stereotypes and so on. I will say sonically, I love their sound. Admittedly, it's only 2 songs, but, there's, like, different styles of punk rock, and, people talk about, like, anarcho, like, hardcore punk rock, and then also pop punk. This feels either between the two or neither. It reminds me like art punk. I don't know if this is technically art punk, but it doesn't sound overly poppy, but it's certainly not like hardcore punk either. So like Yeah, it has an artistry to it, but it's still got some energy and grit in the guitar work. I love her vocals. She has a very melodic voice, but there's also some scratch when she really like pushes it on some of the lines, so very much enjoying the vocals. Let's give the lyrics a check. Alright, so the lyrics are, I'm an honest woman, a representative of the state of mutual confusion. I did hear that line, within the confines of love. Okay, so that's interesting. The idea that like people who are in love, no one really knows what's going on or what to expect. Heavy-lidded darling, embedded in my arms. I'll take a kiss to settle payment like a song for the gods. I did hear that song for the gods, but not what came before it. Does your underlying devotion only last till I'm out the door? Ooh, snap. Can I keep my fingers away from a sore? Okay. So it was as I heard it. Does your underlying devotion only last till I'm out the door? And I did hear door, but I didn't hear the context. So, yeah, the idea that someone may love you, but then if you're not an immediate presence or, they go somewhere else, maybe there's a worry that, there's like a, what's like object permanence, like in terms of the emotion slash love. I can't keep my fingers away from the sore or from us, or happy to include you in my escapades. We're the first to intrude and the last ones to leave. Never assume we came with someone that you know. We'll go through every drawer and throw the contents to the wind. I did hear to the wind, but not what came before it. Am I risking complicity right here, right where I want to be? Is this absurdity to trust you so implicitly? Damn. Losing my complacency, you could be the end of me. Oh well, you're worth it. I've got the nerve to do it. Happy to include you here. So, okay, yeah, it sounds like she's worried that maybe he's not as all in on this as she is, and, maybe when they're not together, his feeling may waver, and she's worried that, maybe you'll be the end of me, but you know what, you're worth it. So despite the fact that, there's this mutual lack of understanding, or, I have these insecurities or fears, or I'm worried that I'm putting in too much and, might end up getting burned for it, she's kind of up in her head, like emotionally and psychologically. But in the end, she seems to be saying that, you know what, I'm going to keep doing this because I think this is worth it. I think you're worth it. And, I guess we'll see like what comes out of this in the future. So there's an optimism, or at least an acceptance of the risk in this emotional dynamic, even if again she's questioning, what may happen. And she's, I guess the line about the sore is like she can't stop like fiddling with her emotional state because she's again maybe worried or at times insecure or wondering about the other person. So she's kind of sorting through it through the lyrics of the song. But yeah, I think ultimately it is optimistic and emotionally positive. And yeah, I love their sound. I love her vocals. Very much looking forward to more. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.